Well, become one with food by learning to think, shop, and cook like a chef.
The Molly Grill is live in Sacramento, picking up some tips from a local pro. Hey, Molly.
Yeah, good morning. Not just any pro either. Boy, am I excited for this morning. We are spending the entire morning in the kitchen learning how to think, shop, and cook like Chef Ed Roehr, partner at Magpie Cafe in Midtown, which, by the way, Chef, celebrated 20 years this month. Big round of applause.
I can't even believe it. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Yeah, totally. That's amazing.
And of course, Magpie is really known for, farm to fork. We were just talking about, kind of the phrase farm to fork started about 7 years after you opened. Of course, we've always, had incredible local agriculture here, but kind of that sense of modern eating with that farm to fork lifestyle. You've been one of the driving forces behind it, truly.
Yeah, well, when Janelle and I came back home to Sacramento, we kept imagining what farm to table cuisine meant in the Central Valley and Sacramento. So we've always been interested in what they're doing in the Bay Area and Napa and all over California. But for us, Magpie is sort of like the question is like, what is the common table in Sacramento or the Central Valley? And that's been kind of our question ever since we started.
Yeah, and we have a photo of you and Janelle and Chef Brian as well, who's now a partner too. 20 years, especially today, celebrating 1 year in a restaurant's a big deal. But obviously with 20 years, you have so many people who come, so many regulars, so many people who have shared memories and celebrations over your food. What does that mean to the three of you?
Well, that's what we set out to imagine, right? I mean, we're part of our neighborhood and part of our community, and so a lot of times, part of the dining room, a good part, sometimes half or sometimes all the dining room are people we know. We've seen their kids come in, and we've helped them out with graduations and even times that were a little more somber in their lives. But that's what being part of a community is right? A table and cuisine is part of a culture, and it's a privilege that Magpie's been around long enough to be a part of the culture here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
You are homegrown, born and raised.
Well, I'm naturalized in Sacramento. I went to elementary school. Yeah, I started Theodore Judah, and I went to Sutter, which is now Miwok, and Sacramento High School.
Yeah,
I've been in Sacramento.
And it wasn't until though you went to Italy and spent a year there that you kind of had your aha food moment, right? We have some pictures we can share of your time in Italy. You were in your early 20s.
Early 20s, that's right. Yeah. So I had already been working as a cook. I had worked as a dishwasher, and then when I was 23 years old, I got a chance to go to Italy and find a job, and that was unbelievably formative for me to be there as a young person in Italy. It was an amazing experience. I worked at a restaurant called Il Paradiso Perduto. It's in the Cannaregio Sestieri of Venice, Italy, and Italy is the regionality. Like I talk about how we're interested in the Central Valley and Sacramento and what food means here and what the produce and what the growth is like here. Italy is at least 20 regions, and Venice is a very particular place. So sometimes people ask me about Italian food, and it's like, well, I don't, I know, we cook Venetian food, so that would be the conversation,
Oh,
people, yeah, it's very regional.
Okay.
And Venice is in the middle of a lagoon, so it's very particular food, right?
Well, I'm so excited we get to spend the morning cooking together.
Totally.
He has a really special story behind the dish he is going to prepare today. Has to do with Italy, but also Western food here in America.
Absolutely.
Too.
100%.
So coming up, he'll share that story. We'll also talk about his role in Slow Food Sacramento.
That's right.
And I can't wait to hear and learn more from you. So stick around. We are going to be cooking. Okay.
Sounds great.
As often as you've been,
hi, Mom.
as often,
Hey,
Molly,
you better be watching.
Molly, you've been getting so many tips lately. I feel like you need to invite us over for dinner. Yeah. Or open a restaurant or something. You're basically a professional at this point.
I do invite you over for dinner often.
Oh. And I'm like, sorry, Molly, I'm so tired.
Can't.
Thank you. We'll see you in a little bit. It is the culinary dance of mixing different ingredients and flavors and creating exquisite dishes. Let's go ahead and check back in with Molly live in Sacramento, ready to taste test another dish. A dish, Molly, that now officially has me craving bacon.
Yeah. Well, and you're not here smelling it, Ash, but yeah, take a look at that bacon frying up with those crispy potatoes. Yum. So we're in the kitchen with Chef Ed Roehr of Magpie, which, by the way, just celebrated 20 years this month. Chef Ed grew up in Sacramento, went to Theodore Judah, Sutter, which is now Miwok, and Sacramento High School. But you really found your sense and purpose and love of food, the joy of it all, kind of your love language of food when you were in Italy.
Right.
And that's how this dish came about. Tell us about this Western style fish fry.
Well, thank you. It's amazing. This is the time that actually kind of formed me as a cook, I think. It's in Italy. I'm in a restaurant, I think I said it, called Il Paradiso Perduto, kind of Reggio. And one day, the rest of the staff said, well, I think it's time for Ed to make a family meal. And someone said, why don't you make us some American food? And then everybody said, oh yeah, he's going to make us hot dogs, or what's going to happen? And I thought to myself, like, how do you kind of wrap up the American culinary experience in one ask? It's a hard ask. And I just kept thinking about campfire breakfast, and how when you fry, you go out camping and you take the potatoes and bacon and you fry trout. And we had trout at the restaurant, and Mauricio, my chef, we had this pancetta that was not rolled out, so it was flat and was hanging from the ceiling in the restaurant. And a few times before that, I had cut pieces flat and made my own BLTs to eat for myself. And I said, well, I'm going to make a Western style breakfast, and they're going to like it. And we had trout in the restaurant at the time. And then I said, well, one more thing, I'm going to make them drink coffee too, because Italians do not drink coffee with food. And I said, if I make a Western style breakfast, fried trout, bacon, potatoes, pour coffee, they're going to freak out and they're going to love it. And so that's what I did.
And they did.
Yeah, they did. Actually did. Yeah.
And you have recreated this dish at Magpie multiple times. We have some photos of those dishes. Now, it might sound intimidating to people that, that we're going to show them how to create this dish, but it's something, I feel like once you learn the technique and kind of the bones of a recipe, you can make it yours. That's kind of what cooking is. And so you're going to show us kind of the beginner bones of this dish, starting with the potatoes. I know these are local Delta potatoes, which speaks to you. You are co-chair of Slow Food Sacramento, yep. So you're kind of one of the driving forces behind Farm to Fork in our area, aren't you?
I think maybe so. I think that would be right to say for sure. Yeah, there's Zuckerman's potatoes. We have bacon that we use, the thick cut bacon that we use at Magpie, and that's the start of the dish. I think are we going to talk about the dish a little bit now?
Well, we're going to really get into the cooking of the dish coming up. Right. You said if people are going to take away one thing, it is how to cook fish like you do in a restaurant. You're sharing some special techniques.
That's what we're going to do.
I feel like fish is one of those very intimidating things to cook.
Right.
He's going to show us how to do it. So after today, you can walk away and say, I'm going to cook dish. I'm going to cook dish. I'm going to cook fish for the ones I love. I'm going to share the story behind how I learned this. It all came from Chef Ed of Magpie. And yeah, I'm excited to learn how to cook fish too.
Me too. I hope it works out. I think it will.
Me too.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm really excited to show you.
Yeah. I hope so. What am I doing here? By the way, if you have any culinary questions for Chef Ed, we have posted a picture on Facebook. Yeah. Just look for these two faces. Ask any question you want when it comes to food, and he'll go ahead and answer them in the 10 o'clock hour.
Totally.
All right.
Yay.
Thanks, Molly.
All morning long, she's tasted new flavors and combos that make those taste buds sing a little song.
Let's check back in with our resident foodie correspondent, Molly Reel, learning how to cook like a chef.
Yes, learning how to cook specifically fish like a chef. And it all starts with a very hot pan. Hey, chef, drop that fish.
Here we go.
Here we go. So if you're just joining us, we have been spending the entire morning in the kitchen with Chef Ed Roehr of Magpie, just celebrated 20 years.
Amazing.
He's showing us how to make a dish that's so special to him. When he was studying, or when he was working in Italy, where he really found his love in language as a cook, you made this dish as a dinner for the Italians you were working with. They said, cook something American.
Yep.
So this is the Western style fish fry. And so let's talk about, we needed to drop this as soon as possible, but how do we get here? What kind of fish is this?
Well, this is Steelhead from Cascade. It's farmed, sustainably farmed in the Pacific Northwest. We're doing this, when I made this dish in Italy, we actually made trout. I used rainbow trout to do it there. But we're doing this fish because it doesn't have skin. And I kind of wanted to show you how I like to crisp this, the fish without the skin.
Look at that. I mean, that happens so quickly.
Yep, we got a very hot pan, we got very hot oil, and the secret to getting that outside skin, the right kind of crispy, is at about this stage, put a little bit of butter in the oil.
Okay. Yeah, so you said once it's on the other side and the fish kind of moves on its own, it's not stuck to the pan,
That's
you don't
right.
have to convince it to move, that's when you add the butter, and then what does that do?
That's right. The butter kind of loosens it up from the pan, and it allows the outside to get that kind of golden crisp that I think people keep asking more for. My family always wants me to cook the salmon because I cook it like this. And I don't think it's just because of the butter. I think it really, the texture itself is what makes it special. Turn out really nice nuggets.
Let's talk about the portions of this. Obviously, they're kind of smaller pieces, but you said with this dish, you'll serve several pieces at a time for each dish. And talk about that.
Well, I like to be able, when I do fish like this myself, I like to be able to have a lot of surface area. So there's a lot of pepper, a lot of crispy on the outside, and then that way every bite can have an equal amount of that kind of medium rare, medium cooked salmon in the middle. So you kind of get every bite to be able to be a little more controlled when you do little pieces. And I like it. I like to also have some of the belly when I'm cooking salmon or steelhead. And so those things cook at a different time. So for me, I always like to be able to cook things accurately, and then sometimes things need more or less time.
Yeah, I love that. Rather have like 3 really incredible pieces of fish on your plate than one mediocre, medium-sized piece as well. So
Well, there are perfect ways to cook whole fish,
yes.
whole slice, whole fillets too. Don't get me wrong, I love that.
Nothing you cook's mediocre, don't get me wrong. Something I cook might be mediocre though. This is a great technique. I'm loving it. Coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, we're going to put this whole dish together.
That's right.
Share it, eat it over some, we'll put it together, have some coffee with it, because that is part of the story.
That's right.
And then if you guys still want to continue to ask questions for Chef Ed, we have that picture posted on Facebook. So you can go ask away. There's some really good questions, including how to make those potatoes so perfect. So we'll be answering that coming up in the 10 o'clock hour as I eat this beautiful dish right in front of you and make you very, very jealous.
Awesome.
Okay, Molly, so you'll prepare that for dinner on Friday night. I'll be there at 7 o'clock. Lovely. Thank you. Molly has spent all morning long with a local professional chef learning some skills and tips.
Yeah, so now the meal is finished and they are ready to eat, but they're also ready to answer your questions. Hi, Malls.
Exactly. And we have some great questions, but first, can we just look at, this is cowboy food, Chef.
All right.
This is the Western style fish fry. This is Chef Ed Roehr of Magpie. Been teaching us how to cook this all morning, sharing the recipe with us. It'll be on our website. But you've also been asking questions all morning. So as we dig in and eat this, I'll ask away, you answer?
Do it.
How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay, first of all, potatoes. How do you get them crispy on the outside and soft on the inside?
Well, we cook them twice.
Okay.
That's sort of the secret in a restaurant, and with French fries or anything. So we braise the potatoes in an oven with some foil over them and just a little bit of water and oil. And once they're fully cooked, we cool them down, and then we smash them, and then we fry them.
Okay.
So that's how we get them to kind of do both.
Beautiful. You got this pan really hot to cook the fish. That's kind of the secret. What oil do you use?
We use the Seka Hills extra virgin olive oil at Magpie. It's my favorite, and it's delicious, and that's what we use today.
And it's local.
Very local.
Grown out in the Cape Valley.
Yeah,
I love that.
absolutely.
Seka Hills is wonderful. We got a question. It's either from Chef Patrick Mulvaney or his wife Bobbin of Mulvaney's. They want to know, will you bring back the Nito's breakfast sandwich? So elaborate.
Nito was a restaurant that we had on our street after Magpie moved, and it didn't work out. But we are opening up a Magpie at Terminal A in the Sacramento International Airport.
So exciting.
And it's going to have a brunch menu. It's going to be open all the time, so you'll be able to find Magpie favorites like the breakfast sandwich and the breakfast dishes and the hamburger there all the time.
First of all, so exciting. What made that breakfast sandwich so special?
It was made with love, most of all. We use Sierra Nevada cheddar, organic cheddar from here in California, we always found some interesting pig to make the sausage with. And we used organic eggs. Really, it was just, yeah.
I love the thought that when people fly into Sacramento or fly out, that they're getting a taste of Magpie, because Magpie just represents Sacramento and the agriculture in the area so well. As we're wrapping things up, by the way, the fish is absolutely perfect. The potato's so good and crispy.
Cool.
I'm eating away.
All right, yeah, please
you are
do.
the co-chair of a movement called Slow Food Sacramento. Yep. Just tell us a little bit about that so people can kind of learn about your mission.
Well, Slow Food is an Italian organization. It started as a way to defend culture against foods that were maybe not cultural. So Italians are very proud of their language and culture, and so when they started Slow Food, they wanted to protect their own culture, and they're bringing some of that important vibe here.
Yeah, and it's all about eating locally sourced seasonal food, and then sharing it together. Cool. Sitting down just like we did. We've been able to talk for the past 4 hours just about agriculture and the love of food, and I appreciate it so much. You are such a champion of local here in Sacramento. I'm so glad Magpie has been around for 20 years this month, you guys. 20 years. Here's to 20 more and beyond. And the new airport. Have to drink coffee with this dish. We got it just in time. Thank you, chef, so much.
Right.
You guys, now that you know one of the faces behind Magpie Cafe, I hope next time you're choosing where to eat, you decide to go support this guy right here.
I think it's a great idea. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Love
bon
supporting
appetito.
local.
To food.
Thank you, Molly. Enjoy.